Sounds in the back. Welcome to the Gridiron Insight. I'm your host, Marcus Dent, and that's my sidekick, Mikel Stephen. What's going on, Mikel?
What's going on, Mark? What's going on?
Oh, man, another week in football inside the Gridiron. And look, man, got a couple games going on that means a lot right here in the state. And let's take the first one, the Maroon and White Bowl, Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. Hey, it's going to be it's going to be kind of a turning point for Mississippi State, man. They put up 21 points on Georgia last week with a freshman quarterback, man. What do you think about Mississippi State? Are they trending in the right direction?
I think so. It takes time to build a program. And, Dan Mullen is going to be in the building to they're going to celebrate, that number one ranked team when he had Dak Prescott. So it's going to play with a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
So I look for Mississippi State to make it a competitive game, but Texas A&M should escape barely. I think State will make it close, but A&M should be able to get out of there with the victory.
Yeah, Texas A&M, I think they're ranked like number 14 in the country. But if you look at the last decade, Texas A&M has only beat Mississippi State twice.
Yeah, that is true.
So State kind of got their number when it comes to that,
Well,
when it comes to that game, I mean, I know it's two different eras. I know it's 2 or 3 different coaches have came through during that time. But normally, man, State plays real well at home against Texas A&M.
They do. Look for that game to be like maybe a signature win. Vegas has got Texas A&M at a -18, so I'm taking a high-scoring game, but -18 on your home turf in the SEC.
Man, I take that. I take that any day.
I think so.
So, I gotta do it. I gotta say it. Jeff Lebby looks like he have found his quarterback of the future.
Okay.
In the freshman, you got Kamario Taylor, 20 minutes down the road, 4-star, dual threat guy. Do you think he shops around after this?
No, I think Mississippi State should get in a checkbook and make sure that young man ends up on their campus.
What I'm saying, he's a 4-star guy, and I'm not trying to cause you Mississippi State fans out there. I know, man. I know I'm gonna catch some slack from this one, but I'm looking at the real. You're looking at a 4-star kid, and I think he just moved up in the top 100, top 150 in the country, and you already got a guy who's quote unquote they're handing the keys over to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting that out there for the people to kind of stir up a little something. We like to stir up a little something on this show. But like I say, I hope Mississippi State can keep him because he will be a great addition if he sits and learns for a couple of years, man. I think when he do take the helm, I think he'll be more than ready. He won't be forced into something. Right. And so I think the boosters, whoever, y'all make sure he stays. And it ain't got to be, it's got to be some kind of, I want to say agreement, but it's got to be something that holds that kid there. You understand what I'm saying? It got to be something that holds in there. They got to do whatever they need to take to have 2 good quarterbacks on their team. And I think with Kamario Taylor, I think he's an outstanding talent, 6'4", got a rocket of an arm, can throw, can run, pretty much what they got already in Van Buren. I mean, pretty much the same kid. But I think Mississippi State has to do whatever it takes to keep this kid committed and get this kid on the roster.
Well, you got to. You got to start recruiting. they got some nice commitments, but you got to build it up. And the way you do that is by locking down kids. And in this new day and age, make sure you get them an NIL situation that they can't turn down.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I feel like State is, they got some athletes that are trending upward, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But I think that's what they got to do to, secure him. So give me a score on this game, man. What you got?
Man, I'm gonna say 41-34, Texas A&M.
Man, look here. I think you're right. But I'm gonna put Mississippi State on the winning end of that.
Ooh, upset alert.
Upset alert, man. I'm going with the Bulldogs, baby.
Okay.
I'm going with the Bulldogs, baby. Yes, sir. We're going with the Bulldogs. Hey, look, we're riding with the home team on that. Hey, we got another home team coming up, although they are a rival of my home school, but it's going down in the vet, baby. Going down in the vet. You got Jackson State and FAMU, two of the most traveled teams in HBCU football. Oh, man, it's going to be classic. It's going to be classic, man. Can you see it now, man? This is Jackson State's biggest recruiting weekend, bro. They bringing kids in from everywhere. And, man, you're going to have kids on that sideline, and they're going to look up on that ramp, and they're going to see the doggone Noops going to be over here with their canes twirling. You're going to have the Qs over there stepping, throwing up the hooks. You're going to have the J-Sets coming in, and one of the little boys going to look at their mama and do what's his name, Johnny Gill. My, mama, where am I? Hey, they ain't going to know what to say. They ain't going to know what to, look, I'm telling you, this is Jackson State's selling point. Hey, my nephew gonna be in the building. He's a Jackson State recruit. He's gonna be in the building. They're gonna have about 100+ recruits down there. They gotta win this football game, man.
I'm real interested to see what Morgan is gonna do against that defense that FAMU is gonna bring into Jackson. That's what I want to see. I want to see what Jacoby Morgan can do against that defense.
Man, if I'm not mistaken, I only think they have given up 21 points to FCS teams.
Yep.
And man, that's big. I mean, that's big. The only thing that Jackson State cannot go back and do what they did against Grambling. And, I think they had over 200 yards more total offense than Grambling, but they had 5 turnovers. And it looked like they have fixed that turnover problem. But they can't have turnovers. They got to play mistake-free football. But guess what? That defense been talking online, man. They said, hasn't been a quarterback yet, survive the vet.
Well, and that's true. And I look for the flip side of that coin. Isaiah Spencer out of Madison Central, he's been on a tear lately. He's averaging about 22 yards of reception. I'm looking for him to have a real big game. In a contest is going, and the defense is going to challenge him. He's only a sophomore, so we're going to see, what he's really about, and I think he's the truth.
I think Isaiah Spencer has about 13 touchdowns this year.
No, he only has 2 touchdowns.
He's only had 2? Okay.
He only has 2 touchdowns, but he's averaging 22 yards a catch.
The 22 yards, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 308 yards on the season out of 14 receptions.
Okay. Well, man, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you it's going to be a game. I'm expecting at least 45,000 up and down. What you say?
I see that all day. That's easy work at the vet. And a lot of barbecue smoke.
They're going to have the grills going on. I guarantee you my homeboy, David Jones, he does a lot of photography for Jackson State. I guarantee you he's going to be down there on the grill. My boys from Columbus going to be down there. FAMU going to bring them from everywhere, man. FAMU has a heavy base right there in Atlanta. Atlanta, what, 4 or 5 hours from the vet? About 4.5?
Five.
Yeah, about 5. Okay. I give you that. If you go on the speed limit. I give you that if you go on the speed limit. So man, it's gonna be jam-packed, man. And like I say, this is Jackson State's biggest recruiting weekend, man. It's gonna be, all the bells and whistles is gonna come out for the recruits. And this is kind of when they get some of their commitments doing these type games. And it's smart to do what they're doing. Man, I like TC. You know, I nothing but respect for TC and what he's done with the job. And, you know, Dion did a good job. But, you know, sometimes when a person like that leaves a program, you take a heavy dip and it's hard to recover from it. And right now, man, I think Jackson State ranked number 25 in the FCS. And what FAMU is number 18 or something like that. So when you're talking about 2 premier HBCU programs going at it in Jacktown, oh man, it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
And Daniel Richardson from FAMU, he's gonna see what that defense is about. He's gonna see what the vet is about. And like you said, they eat quarterbacks up in Jackson. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's, like I said, man, this is for the East, if you ask me.
It is, without question.
This is for the East, if you ask me. Who you got? Who you with? As the young folks say, who you with? Man, what you got? What's your score?
I'm looking for big things out of Spencer, out of Isaiah. Quarterback from FAMU, Daniel Richardson, he's thrown for over 1,100 yards. So he's going to be tough to slow down. He's at around 70% on his completions. I'm going to go 24-35, Jackson State. I'm going to go with the upset in this one.
I'm right there with you. Jackson State is averaging about 35 points a game. I don't think they would get that many points against FAMU. I want to say about 30. You know, I'm going to say about 30. I'm saying 30-17 J-State at the vet.
Okay.
30, you know, I mean, I don't see Jackson State losing this game. If Florida A&M had a lot more talent than Jackson State, that they have had that over the last couple of years since Dion has been gone. But now I think that has shifted a little bit. I think they're pretty even. And I just don't see them coming in Jackson beating them. I just don't see that. And I might be wrong, but right now, ever since that Grambling game, man, Jackson had turned it around. Now you got to realize who did they play at the beginning of the year that's pretty tough? Was it ULM?
Yep, Monroe. Yep. Yeah,
they played ULM, and ULM only loss is to Texas. And they fought ULM, man.
Yeah, it was 30-14, first game of the season.
First game of the season. And if they can get back to doing some of the things that they did then and what they're doing now, averaging about 35 points a game, man, I'm telling you right now, Jackson State could take that East. They win this ball game, you can put them up rapid.
Well, the advantage that Jackson State has is on defense. They force turnovers, and that sound as Florida A&M's defense is, they really don't force any turnovers. So if Jackson State can win the turnover game at home, they should come out victorious.
Well, like I say, that's gonna be a good one, man. And you know, hey, if you're in Jackson, Mississippi, or anywhere around, and you want to see some good football, I know you got Mississippi State and Texas A&M at the house, but this Jackson State Florida A&M game, if you want to see what a HBCU atmosphere really looks like, you need to head on down to Jacktown.
Oh yeah,
because it's gonna be going down. It's gonna be some good football in Jackson. It's gonna be some good food in Jackson. You know, they're gonna have them grill fired up. You know, they're gonna have that early in the morning. What's that, like what is that? A 2:30 kickoff?
2:30 kickoff.
Yeah, 2:30 kickoff. Yeah, that'd be at 6 o'clock in the morning, man. You'll be able to go by the vet.
No, you go by there tomorrow night. You go by there tomorrow night.
Yeah, man. They're gonna have it. They have it going on down there, man. So,
oh yeah.
Like I say, we both side that. Well, we're both picking Jackson State in this one. We're gonna go with the home team, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to another team. Now they're gonna be on the road. It's my Alcorn State break. Got to go to Southern and get that win. I call it the Alcorn State versus McNair Bowl.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be some bad blood in this one.
And the other three head coaches they got on the team at Southern. So man, man, it ain't a whole lot I can say about this one. I'm pulling for my Braves. And man, Matt, my freshman year, he was the quarterback there. And I got nothing but respect for Mac. I think the whole thing that happened at Alcorn, I think both sides could have did just a little bit better. I really do. But, it is what it is when it comes to that, man. And we're not going to harp on that too much because it's just something that, you can't sometimes when you're not in that situation and you don't know what's going on between the AD and the coach, and you just don't know. We all speculate. He moved on. The Brave family wishes him well. But I do think this. I think in order for Southern to be able to beat Alcorn, they got to stop that rushing attack. Alcorn quarterback is killing it. He's killing it. It's hard to control him. He does a great job of making you have to contain him. Throwing the deep ball. I mean, they pretty well rounded, man.
Anytime you're going up against a quarterback that averages 6 yards a carry, running the ball, that's real dangerous. So, not only is he gonna throw on you, he's gonna run on you. So, you got to watch that guy. They're going to put a spy on him. So, they proved last week that they can win on the road. So, Southern is gonna have their hands full. Yeah,
I mean, you got to put a linebacker in that hole where he can't step up in that pocket and get out of there. That's what they're gonna have to do. But when you do that, that middle of the field gonna be open. So it's one of those things that the defense is gonna have to figure out. Which I'm gonna go with the Braves, man. I'm Braves all the way, 2 touchdowns. I can't tell you what the final score. I want to say the Braves. I want to say 35-14, 35-17, something like that. I'm going with the Braves. And I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I can see the Braves overpowering Southern, even though they're at home. They're going to play some inspired ball. Like you said, McNair is going to be on the other side, so it means a lot. But I don't think
it's going to be chippy. It's going to be chippy that first quarter. You can bet that.
Yeah,
it's going to be chippy now. It's going to be some of this right here going on that first quarter. So, man, just hope the kids get through that without too many emotions getting involved in it. We know emotions going to get involved in this game, man. It's no way for us not to. There's no way for that not to happen. That's going to happen. What you hope in a game like this, that the kids control their emotions and play hard. Play hard. Southern kids are going to play hard for McNair. Alcorn kids are going to play hard for their head coach. I mean, for Coach Thompson. I mean, Coach Thomas, it's going to be a hard ball game that first quarter. But I think once Alcorn gets going, it's going to be even harder for Southern to catch up because, Southern is a team right now, just a mystery team, man. We really don't know what's going on with the Jaguars, man. So if they don't beat Alcorn, I can tell you this, they'll probably be looking for another head coach here in another year or so because Alcorn is their measuring stick when it comes to finding. It used to be Grambling, man, but somehow in the last couple of years, it's Alcorn State,
Well, Well, Alcorn has had, over the last decade, a lot of success, and not just in the West, but over in the East, now in the West. So they've had a long, good 10-year run of just being a team that you got to play hard and beat. And if you could beat Alcorn, you could find yourself in the SWAC championship. And this is another one of those games that's for first place. So whoever wins this will be in the driver's seat. But I look for Alcorn to win a game that a lot of people don't think is going to be close, but I think it's 24-21 Alcorn.
Think about this.
24-21 Alcorn. Yep.
24-21 Alcorn. But think what could happen. Alcorn wins, Jackson State win.
Uh-oh.
What? For the SWAC championship?
Ooh-wee.
Might play twice.
Yeah.
Might play twice. Yeah. Huh?
That is very true.
Oh, man. What you talking about? Hey, so guess what? This game is big. This game is a lot bigger than what people are looking at. Alcorn go down there and get the win. Jackson State take care of business. Everything has a good ebb and flow. Guess what? These two playing for it. They're going to play at the end of the year, and they'll turn around and play for the SWAC championship.
It can happen. It can happen. A lot of football still to be played.
A lot of football still to be played, but just looking at the schedule of Alcorn and looking at the schedule of Jackson State, if was a fifth, we all be drunk right now. But yet and still, I'm just saying, if things turn out like they should, you could be looking at a Soul Bowl for the SWAC championship.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting, man.
We'll know a whole lot after Saturday night.
Yeah, we'll know a whole lot after Saturday night, man. So, like I say, I'm gonna pick the Braves up by 14 on that one, man. And it's been a lot of talk about recruiting here in the state of Mississippi. And, as me and you both know, we know a lot of these kids. We've seen a lot of them. And Mississippi State, they got some kids on the board right now, man, that I think that they jumping off the board right now. Talk a little recruiting news. 24/7 Sports just released their top 25 prospects earlier today. And Mississippi State had a couple guys move up. Tyshawn Willis from Velma Jackson. He's in the top 100 in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a kid, we all know Mississippi State needs to get better on the defense side of the ball. You got a top 100 edge guy. Hey, man, and that's good stuff for them, man, and he's a great player. And the other kid they got a bump is Kamario Taylor. He bumped from a 91 to a 93. Now he's within the top 150 in the country. And we talked about that a little bit earlier, told you we was going to come back to that, is you got to keep that kid. You got to keep him, man. State got to do whatever they got to do to keep that kid at home. Because as well as I know, somebody coming after him. Somebody's coming after him, okay? They're gonna use the old Jedi mind trick. Hey, man, he already got his quarterback.
I would really like to know, what is the strategy for retaining in-state student athletes at Mississippi State and Ole Miss for that matter? Because it's an abundance of talent in this state. And you talking about the 25s, 26, 27s, and 28s.
Oh, yeah. It's packed.
Continue to play around in the portal, or do you aggressively attack your state and build from within? And I think Mississippi State really need to look at that $8 million that they just got and start spending wisely to retain talent. And I say build from within and get what you need, maybe out the portal, but you got to get your in-state talent and build from there. You can't allow for talent to slide out or miss talent that end up at JUCO. You got to get it right. And I would like to see some of these head coaches, hey, jump in the helicopter, come to some of these high school games on Friday, go to multiple games on Friday, get around the state and let these athletes know that, hey, Mississippi State's serious. Or a guy like Kiffin, get in the chopper, ride to a game. Let these folks know, hey, we recruiting the state. We don't want you to leave.
Yeah. I mean, you got to court them. And once they get committed, a lot of schools, they kind of slack off, man. You got to stay on them. Another kid that got a big bump was Tyler Lockhart. Now, his brother's there playing offensive line. So that's the kid that's committed. I think he's a lot. I don't think, he's a Bulldog. Yeah, Tyler's a Bulldog. He jumped up by 22 spots, man. He's a Bulldog, and I think that's going.
Most of these kids, their dream school is a Mississippi State or Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about it. Some of these kids are going to schools they really didn't care to go to, but because the lack of attention, they're not going to Mississippi State or Ole Miss.
That's true. Now, Ole Miss guys, their top guys pretty much stayed stagnant. Cortez Thomas from Holmes County, he pretty much stayed stagnant. He's still a 4-star kid, ranked about 90 in the 27 sports ranking. You got Andrew Maddox, which his brother's already at Ole Miss playing quarterback. I think, you said brother-in-law deal, but I think that was a brother-in-law deal. Getting his brother last year. No little brother's coming. No little brother's gonna be a big time 4-star. Hey, you make that deal. And plus, Pete Golden played with their dad at I want to say Delta State. So that kind of deal. That kid's not going anywhere. Jacoby Hobson. Now that kid, he's dropped a little bit in the 24/7 ranking, but he's still a 4-star in the composite ranking. But I'm gonna tell you this: he hasn't did a lot of camping, and when you don't camp and you already ranked, they're gonna drop you. I don't care what they say. I've watched it. I've experienced it. And you got Mason Dunn. We both seen him last week.
Oh, yeah.
We both seen him last week. He is a physical specimen that's going to need some technique training, but once he get it, homeboy. Well,
I do know one thing. He was down in Louisiana last week at the LSU game. That just goes to show you, he's being looked at. So I would advise the in-state schools to protect your borders.
Yeah, and we're pretty much talking about the kids that are committed, to the in-state schools. And when you still got the Deuce Knights that's going to Auburn, and you got Caleb Cunningham. I think he's committed to Alabama, and I think the Caleb Cunningham there's one situation I think his might change before it's all over. I'm not positive, but I think his might change for the simple fact. It's some different stuff. I think it's all depending on how Bama finish out the season.
And like I said, that checkbook. That's the world we live in.
That's the world we live in, man. That's the world we live in. And so you're talking about Mississippi State has a few top guys. Ole Miss has a few top guys. They got a lot of kids out of state that's committed. But those are some of their top 25 guys, not 26s, top 25 guys. But before we get out of here, man, we're finna get ready to get out of here. But there's one thing that we need to talk about before we close everything down. Let's talk about the Vanderbilt Commodores. Two losses, not ranked in the top 25. You got two other teams, Michigan, Ole Miss, that are ranked in the top 25. Who do you think has the best win? I say Vandy because they beat number 1, but they're not ranked.
Yeah, they did win one, but they had their body of work and their credibility is not there just yet. They hadn't beat Bama in 40 years, so I'm not ready to just say, "Hey, you guys belong." I need to see some just regular wins. You know, beat Kentucky, beat Tennessee, beat
they beat Kentucky. They beat Kentucky. Kentucky beat Ole Miss. Kentucky beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They beat Bama.
Yeah, that's true. But
I mean, the schedule. Look, I understand what you're saying, but you got to give them what they're due. I don't care about the past. What's that song say? I don't care about your past. I don't care about your past. I'm talking about right now. We living in this moment. That was an old, man, this is a new moment right now.
Well, think of this. They still got Texas. They got Auburn. They got South Carolina. They got LSU. They got Tennessee. They control their own destiny. So at the end of the day, they'll have opportunity.
In other words, you saying they got Murderer's Row coming up, with what you saying.
Yeah. And if they want to get in the spotlight, they need to keep winning.
They need to keep winning, man. They need to keep winning. It's hard to do it. But look here, man. We finna get ready to get out of here. Hey, guys, look. Y'all see we got some new merch. I tell you what we're going to do. Hey, hit us up in the comments, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, wherever you see us at, hit us up in the comments and give us your name. We're going to put y'all in a hat. We're going to draw it out. We're going to send y'all some merch. I'm Marcus Dent. That's my partner, Mikel Stephen. Peace.
Peace out.